Hello? Blink an egg. What a weird way to start Stream Blues. And what weird lighting I've gone for here. Bit better in concept, not so great in execution. You can basically see my screen through here. It's just my stream, to be honest, but that looks pretty cool. But I almost look a bit weird, to be honest. Don't think it's worked, Blues. Don't think the idea's worked. But there it is. Pretty cool. You know what? I'm going to go turn the light back on because I think this looks a bit lame. 1 second, Blues. Blink an egg. Oh. Hello! I'm back. Here we go on the stream. I love the blue atmosphere. Big ups to you. I would have kept it, but I typically have like a white light and it just feels weird to not have it. But we'll keep this here anyway. Why not? It's nice. It brings the blue, and I guess it's a cool touch. But big ups to you, Militon Vekovic. If I'm not wrong, you were in the last stream, or profile picture to you at least. But big ups to you. Big ups to Thomas Wilson as well. Big ups. Now then, in this stream, we are, of course, going to be looking mainly at Fabrizio's feed, looking at all the latest transfer news and just the biggest stuff overall. You know, there's been some pretty big deals that I've gone through today. You know, Xavi Simons, obviously, in the thumbnail. Apparently, Asensio's on his way back to Villa. You know, I did a stream a while back saying that he was on the way back. He was on the way to Fenerbahce, but not the case, it seems. Not the case whatsoever. But anyway, shall we just get straight on to sharing? How strange. That was not the idea. There we go. Here is Fabrizio's feed. Do you think there'll be any update tomorrow on Edison Donnarumma? Well, better yet, Talsif, we've had an update today. So let's go find out what that is in just a moment, but we're going to go through this to begin. Now then, this deal's obviously been brought on because what they called Chelsea lost out on Xavi Simons, so they're signing Facundo Buonanotte from Brighton. Probably butchered that a bit. Negotiations are underway with Brighton for the Argentine talent in the list of several clubs in the UK, Dortmund and more. The deal is on. Encisa has just finished the deal. Encisa deal has just been sealed by the Luco Group. Here we go. It's a 5-year contract. Joined Strasbourg immediately, and then with a potential future at Chelsea. So it's all about, if he does well at Strasbourg, he's basically been promised a future at Chelsea, really. It seems to be the thing. So good luck to him. He did pretty good. He scored one of the goals of the seasons against us. Big ups to Walking King. Do you think we need what do you think about Manchester City vs Spurs? Do you think we need a goalkeeper? Can't believe Xavi Simons went to Spurs. Nothing against them, but Chelsea is historically a bigger club. I'll talk about that in a moment. What is the update on the Man City midfield? Well, to begin, Walking King, do I think we need to get a new goalkeeper in? If Edison goes, we need a new goalkeeper because I do not trust. I don't necessarily want Ortega. Okay, I want a goalkeeper that is truly focused on City overall. And I think Donnarumma will bring that. Okay, Edison's head's not in the club. We should get rid. And Ortega, he's decent, but his mind is really only on first team football, which is fine. You know, that's absolutely fine. You know, that's how some footballers are going to think. If he thinks he's good enough for first team football, then yeah, why not go for it? What manager will replace Pep if we lost every single game? It's an interesting one. The name Cesc Fabregas has been brought up. A lot of people have mentioned Company in the past too. You know, names have been mentioned and thrown around, but nothing really solid. But yeah, I imagine we have got certain names on a little short list just in case something does happen. Now then. Can't believe Xavi Simons went to Spurs. Nothing against them. Chelsea's historically a bigger club. That's true. That is true. But what I will say is that, Spurs, Thomas Frank, I like Thomas Frank. I think he's a good coach, and I think Spurs are in for a decent season. So I'm pretty confident that it's an attractive move for certain players right now. They've had a good window. They've bought a good player like Kudus, bought an assist, now bought in Javi Simmons. That's probably due to not being able to get Gibbs White, Eze, and even Savinho. So we couldn't get any of them. Hijacked that deal. Very good move by them. Really got that done quickly. Okay, can I stay humble? Do you think we'll win against Man United? I'll never say never. I'll never say we won't even. Trafford, good goalkeeper, but not experienced enough for big games. That's the thing for me. He's a very good goalkeeper. He's got a very high ceiling, but the clubs he's played for are Accrington Stanley, Bolton, Burnley, and now us again. So it's no disrespect to him. Yeah. I'll never say that United are going to beat City. That's what I meant. So yeah, I think we can beat. I think we can win against Man United. Absolutely, I'm praying that we can because Grimsby Town almost did. So let's have a look here. When will we get banned from Premier League because of the FFP rules? I say if we get banned, I don't think we will. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know when all that's going to get resolved. Hopefully soon. I want it done now. I wanted it done a few months ago. I think everyone's just a bit tired of it now. I think every City fan is. Chelsea will destroy Man City. That's an interesting one. Speaking of Chelsea, Roma are negotiating for Tyreek George. Talks ongoing, also on player side. Bayern are not in talks with him. No doors to a loan move. This guy's joining Atalanta. Lamens from, I think it's Antwerp. Antwerp is looking to happen. Probably meaning Onana's on the way out. Oh yeah, Kanji looks like he's now leaning a bit more towards the move for AC Milan now, by the way. It's looking more likely to go there. Who will win the Premier League this season? I'll always say City, but my non-biased side is probably leaning towards Liverpool a little bit. I'm nervous for the Manchester derby. We have to win. Man City so bad this season. What do you think? It's early. Is what I think. I'm waiting for the Brighton game before I really decide whether we're going to be up there or awful. Yeah, it'll be 26 or 27, like you said. So it actually went to Bradfield 26. 2-1 at the Etihad, 3-0 at the Bridge. All right, interesting. Big ups to everyone tuning in. Make sure to hit like if you haven't already. Do appreciate it. Chelsea haven't beaten City since 2021. There you go. Yeah, I mean, Akanji, I think it's a bit of a weird one for him, isn't it? Because he's been linked with Chelsea, Milan, and Galatasaray. Joins Galatasaray, he's going to a lesser of the biggest leagues, the Turkish league isn't one of the top 5 leagues in the world, but he's got Champions League football, and he's playing with decent players too, Osimhen, Sane, others in there as well. And could even be playing with Edison. And Gundo. So he's playing with decent players there. Goes to AC Milan, obviously playing with a decent squad. He's not got European football, but he is in a good league. Also linked with Chelsea, who are a very good team. He would probably not be first choice, probably be up there, definitely fighting for the first spot, but probably eventually be rotational when Levi Colwill eventually comes back. So don't think he's got like a long-term first team spot in Chelsea, but he's obviously amongst one of the best teams in the league, and obviously pushing for a Champions League placements every year. Chelsea don't hate Man City though. Why do Chelsea can't hate them? I have nothing against Chelsea personally. The only thing I have against Chelsea is that they nicked the Champions League. Well, I say they nicked it. They won it fair and square. But well, I don't like Rudiger because he like buggered up KDB's nose. But that's it. Villarreal sealed the deal to sign Georges Mikhaitadze. I've never heard of him. I ain't gonna lie. Anthony, looks like this is potentially going to happen. Betis are really pushing for it. Tsimikas going on loan to Roma here. I didn't really think Tsimikas would last this long at Liverpool. He's been there for 5 years now, to be fair, so not too bad. I don't think he's got a long-term future beyond this loan move, though. And Kunku, he's obviously a new AC Milan player, and here we go, be a little further down. Watford closing in on Formose Mendy as a new defender. Big ups. Como looking to sign Diego Carlos from Fenerbahce as a loan. Now then, here is Simmons holding up the Tottenham shirt. We'll go down a little bit more. Magassa just signing a 4-year deal at West Ham. Here you go. Official. Simmons joins Tottenham a 60 million fee. Pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. Now then, also Piero Hincapié. Can't say owned you. Yeah, he was class. To be fair. Chelsea will win the premises. You need more players. I think we just need different players. I look at videos channel. I've got a channel. My workplace. Please shout it out. Thinking sort of saying you like the channel, and yeah, why not? Everyone go sub to Walking King. Everyone go drop a sub. 22-23 Chelsea was so bad, but Man United right now is so much worse. Yeah, no, Man United really managed to top that, didn't they? And even Tottenham last year, although I think they're going to bounce back this year. But yeah, but Hincapié looks like he's joining Arsenal. Pretty good deal, to be fair, for them. And, really does add to that defence. Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié now. And the fact that Hincapié is, I guess the replacement for Kyrgios, really good. And there's probably another one in there that I'm just forgetting. I'm pretty sure Hincapié can play at fullbacks as well, which is probably ideal for Arteta. Probably likes that, the versatility, a bit like Ben White. United actually look relegation worthy, probably won't go down there, to be fair. Yeah, I think the overall quality in their squad would just about keep them up, but I don't think they're going top 10 at this rate, to be honest. Not unless, I don't know what has to change. Because I don't think it's all down to Ruben Amorim. I ain't gonna lie. Liverpool in active talks to sign Mark Gay. £30 million is roughly what it's looking like. It's if Palace find a replacement, though, is what they're waiting on. That could very well be one that drags out till deadline day just because of the finding replacement bit. Emerson looking to join Marseille. More on this story. Yarin Pino from Villarreal is has joined Crystal Palace. He's in the shirt there. Let's keep going. Kobbie Mainoo. It's an interesting one with him because apparently he's a very good midfielder. that is seemingly wanted out of the club so that he can go out, maybe get some first team football, maybe prove to United that he shouldn't be on the bench and whatnot. And so he's asked, can I go on loan? But it looks like Amarim's like, nah, I need this guy. I set off at 7 a.m. and come back at 10. Bristol away. Oof, crazy. I know we're going to lose something like 4-0. This City said to me, PSG will have no choice but to lower Donnarumma price for him to join City on deadline day. Yeah, it is looking like a deadline day deal. And that's how City are probably playing it, to be honest with you, Tasif. They're probably playing it like that so that Donnarumma's price goes down. Because PSG, they want to sell. They don't want to lose this guy on a free. You remember, wait there, I'm going to find it because I know it's here somewhere. Here's the current fee. 30 to 35 million. Yeah? Do you remember what it was to begin? It was 50 million. PSG have obviously gone down because deadline day's coming, okay? And we've obviously been like, you think we're paying 50 mil? Nah. You can lower that, or we'll just deal with what we got. And so they're lowering it because they don't want to lose him on a free. Donnarumma's made it clear he wants to join us. Paul Trafford. I think Trafford's future is still pretty sound. I'm confident Trafford's going to be all right. And I think it'll be good for Trafford to have a top keeper ahead of him to learn from as well, but to also compete with. Trafford's a very good keeper behind Donnarumma. But give him a year, okay? Give him the cup games, similar to Edison. And then next year, okay, when he's got more confidence, knows the system better and everything like that, he'll be able to really give it a go. Will we ever go back to play games on Main Road? I think Main Road's been taken down. Why PSG even letting him go? Because they back Chevalier more. He's more their profile of goalkeeper. Bit ruthless, but, ruthlessness has gotten us to the top. Hull City rejected 4 million, 7 million, and 10 million for Charlie Hughes. I wonder if they go even higher. Is Edison still at Man City? Yes, he is. He's still there at the moment. They're still waiting on the Edison exit. If the Edison exit goes through, which I think it will, Donnarumma joins Man City. Is basically what the score is right now. So it's all coming down to that. Udinese signing Zanoli for 5 million, it seems. Garnacho joining Chelsea. Finally, here we go on that. Been a long time coming, but that is a £40 million deal, which is kind of crazy because there was a time when United were wanting around 70 million, but that hasn't. That's obviously not going well. Probably because of the relationship between the two clubs, and also between player and club, and also because of United's league position, and wasn't one to be desired. But yeah, it looks like he's joining Chelsea. I had a weird feeling that he would eventually. It was either them or Napoli, really. Yeah, more on the loan deal there. Yeah, there you go. Tottenham looking to sign Akanji as well. So yeah, it wasn't Chelsea, it was Tottenham, wasn't it? My bad. Yeah, it'll be good depth. Champions League football, decent team, decent project. It'll be interesting. Simmons. It's a good deal. I like Simmons. I really do like Xavi Simmons. I think he's a very good player. Edison's probably hanging out with Donnarumma a lot. MCFC Connect. How will Edison leave Man City? What Everton exit? I think I missed that. They're gonna. I don't know how you mean by how, but they're gonna sign him for about 15 million to 20 million, I think, in that area. And so, yeah, 15 to 20 million is roughly what they're going to pay for him. Everton. Oh, did I say Everton are signing them? No, Everton aren't signing him. If I said Everton are signing Edison, okay, it's all getting in my tongue. Everton, Edison. If I said that, that's incorrect. False alarm. No way. Edison is joining Galatasaray. Everton are not involved in the slightest. In Turkey, the transfer window closes on the 13th, but we won't be able to sell Everton to Galatasaray because in the UK it closes on the 1st of September. Yeah, so basically what that means is we're going to get them out by September 1st. Yeah, if I said Everton there, by the way, Everton have nothing to do with that deal. Yeah, here was the official deal though. Very good hijack from Tottenham. Azpilicueta joining on a free to Sevilla. Jose Mourinho is sacked by Fenerbahce after failure to get the Champions League football. That's another big paycheck for him. Yeah, that's probably another 5 million into his pocket. Galatasaray Champions League. What was your reaction to Trafford mistake? I only saw it after the game. I imagine if I was watching the game, I'd be like, oh, no. You know, just like pure disappointment. It was not great, and to be honest, from the bits I did see of the game, he really does look like he struggles on the ball. Hasn't got that swagger and confidence of Edison when it comes to being on the ball. You know, when Edison's on the ball, you'll see him do a back heel sometimes. You'll see him, you know, do a little bit of a skill move. Trafford, he didn't want to have his feet. You know, he would do like the most awkward hoofs ever. You know, when he's got space, you know, he could do a nice long kick, but when he's out of his box and it's like halfway up the pitch, he just looks a bit nervous. Did you ever watch videos on Sport Bible channel featuring more fans from one club, fake fans from other clubs, pretending to support the same club as real fans? I haven't actually. Real fans, not real. I want Jose at Hull. It would be interesting to see how he does the Championship. Plus, our own Jose Mourinho, good mates. He used to be assistant manager at Fenerbahce. Plus, Jose is a big name manager. That'd be a crazy move for Hull if they actually did that. Do I think Edison leaves on deadline day? Yeah, to be honest, I actually do. I think that's going to be like a whole big saga on deadline day, to be honest. There's going to be a huge saga. You know, it's going to be Edison, here we go. And City are going to hurriedly get the Donnarumma deal done. And then Donnarumma will be... I think Donnarumma is going to be a bit like Nico Gonzalez, if you remember when he joined. He literally joined on the last second. He literally joined last second of the window. Jose's washed now. I think he would fail at Hull. What will happen with Ortega? That's one I don't really know the coverage. That's one I really don't know. Because he clearly wants to go, but nothing is happening. Nothing at all. Why do we have to leave it this late? It's probably partly because it's either one of two things. Galatasaray being stubborn on the fee, okay? And they're just grinding this out, trying to get it down, but it won't go down, more than likely. Or there's already an agreed fee and they're keeping it on the low to drag it out till deadline day, okay? So that PSG make their price even lower. Because imagine this. Man City, Galatasaray. They've met for about 20 million for Edison. Okay, but if that happened a few days ago, PSG would probably still be wanting about 40 million for Donnarumma. Happens on deadline day, when PSG is sweating a bit because they're worried they're not going to get a fee for Donnarumma. On deadline day, it'll be more like 30 million, maybe even 25. Because PSG is like, okay, just take him. You know, just give us what you can. Okay, and then we're going to be like, oh, we're still waiting on it. We're still waiting on it. Oh, there it is. The money's come. We got 20 million for Edison. Wow, would you look at that? What a coincidence. You know, it could be a case of that. Maybe I'm stretching a bit, but I don't know. I think it could very well be that. I think it could be a smart move by the club. Well, Ortega will play golf like Bale or... Yeah, either that or he gets sold. What if Edison doesn't get sold? If Edison doesn't get sold, then he stays at the club. He's 26. I can't see in what world we sell Edison, Galatasaray, and Man City. And Donnarumma's meant to see in one day. I do, to be honest. Is Donnarumma 25, 26? Yeah, he's 26, like Tausifa said. I do see a world where that's possible, to be honest, because I'm telling you, Glimpse, deals happen like that in football. You know? Like, when you look at how late transfers just tend to happen. A week ago, there was no rumours of Xavi Simons to Tottenham. A week ago, that wasn't going on. Today at 3 a.m., Tottenham agreed a fee. On the same day, he's holding up the shirt. Deals happen like that in football, especially as you go on later in the transfer window. On deadline day, okay, I'm going to be doing big deadline day stream, by the way. On deadline day, deals just go like that. You know, you're going to see a rumour start on deadline day, and you're going to be seeing them hold the shirt by the end of the day. That's just how quickly a deal can happen. It only happens a little slower before the window because there's no rush. Even though when we signed Gonzalez on deadline day, how can we sell Everton to Galatasaray? That's just too much, in my opinion. Doesn't deadline day end like 5? Well, like 5 p.m. Yeah, let's have a look. Transfer deadline day end time. UK. Summer transfer window for the Premier League and EFL clubs will close 4 hours earlier than usual at 7 p.m. Or we could use Donnarumma of Premier League games and Champions League games in Trafford for, but we can't have this much goalkeepers in our team. Trust me, Glimpse. I believe, and trust me, South. I believe it'll happen. Okay, call me a clown if it doesn't. Our goalkeeper and best centre back are at risk of being sold. I just really want it to be shut. Really want it to be Monday, so deadline day shuts. Yeah, I get that completely. Asensio looking to be going back to Villa, by the way. Obviously, it was a really successful loan period when he went there, had really high goal contributions. So you can understand why both teams would want all this to go through. It's good relations all round, probably. I wonder how much it'd be. 1 year left on the deal. That's why a loan move is not possible. Probably like 25 million. Maybe 30. Probably more like 25 though. Serie A side, Cremonese are looking to sign Jamie Vardy very soon. There he is with his trophy haul from Leicester. Bournemouth looking to get a loan for Alex Jimenez. Fiorentina and Luis. It's a 2 million loan fee plus 24 obligation to buy bid from Benfica. Yeah, there's more. Yeah, Kobe Mainu looking like he's staying. More Kobe Mainu. Hinkapai, Simicast. We're seeing a lot of the same stuff here. Lyon looking to sign Taremi. Besiktas have sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Unlucky. Ili Felmas to Napoli, loan with a buy option. Strasbourg are looking to sign the Fulham talent Marshall Goddo. Don't really know if I'm saying that correctly. Hey, there you go. There you go. This is big news. I don't want Akanji to leave. He said he does not want to leave either. Yeah, he doesn't really feel like he wants to leave. Stoke City at top of the Championship. They beat Southampton. Man United fans want Ollie back. Blinkenack. Strasbourg got drawn and Crystal Palace in the Conference League. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going back to Man United would feel like Lampard when he went back to Chelsea. You know, for like that weird caretaker period. That was so weird. Liverpool are ready to go all in for Alexander Isak. The player's stance never changed. Isak only wants Liverpool, and if Newcastle decides to open doors after Watermad, one more striker is expected to join. Liverpool are ready. I think this is going to happen now. By the way, they've got Watermad. I'm really confident in that. I think Newcastle have just been like, okay, you know what? The time to cash in. No point being this silly now. And yeah, looks like they are. Looks like this deal's going to happen. Watermad, by the way, what do you think of that? That's an interesting one. We're going to see it soon. That's the here we go. Højlund joining Napoli. Myron Boadu. I actually signed this guy in my Ipswich career mode. He's done pretty good for me. Vlahovic is staying. Azon is joining Ipswich. Forrester's signing Nicolo Savona. Aha, here you go. So I think it's like 85 million total fee. But why Newcastle don't sign me up because they don't have a striker, but now they do. I feel like a Big Six club never get point deductions. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, you're not wrong. I can't think of any examples of it. 49p Pepsi Max, what deal? That is crazy. It's like £1.10 where I live. Yeah, I just feel it's a decent signing. It's a very expensive move for a player of his stature. Not to like diss him or anything. Like he's a good player, but I just don't know if he's worth that much. Maybe if they went in for him a bit earlier, it would have been a bit cheaper. But it's really a good deal for Newcastle because they've gotten a decent striker now. You know, it's quite incredible for Stuttgart because they got this guy on a free. They got this guy on a free deal. He's 23 years old, so it's about similar age, I think, to Isak when he joined. If I go to the 24-25 season, you know, he had a good season. 20 goal contributions is not bad whatsoever. He's getting Champions League football now, you know, and he's done pretty well, to be fair. He's done pretty well for this team. So, you know, Newcastle are signing a pretty high potential guy. A similar profile to Isak before he joined. Isak was kind of like that high potential striker that no one was really going in for, but then Newcastle like, you know what, we'll go for you. It's obviously worked out amazingly for Newcastle and Isak, and to the point where, you know, this whole saga's gone on because of how good that deal's, how good that period has been. But looks like this guy's going to be joining 24 next year, so it's a good age. You know, he's going into those big development years in terms of no longer a youngster, but still a bit of that period before your prime. So, yeah, he's going into some big years now in his career. And it's really sink or swim at Newcastle. And a part of me wants him to do well because I feel a little bit bad for Newcastle and how the whole situation's gone, to be honest. I do feel a little bit bad. But yeah, I'm curious to who the second striker will be. I'm curious how much money Newcastle are willing to spend, the profile they'll go for. Because Liverpool, they can spend, it seems, about 120 million in Isak. This guy's cost about 85 million. So they're probably going to look to spend about 35 million on the backup striker. So I'm just curious to who that would be. Like, who else is out there? What other striker can they find? Looks like our goalkeeper Pando will be going. We're left with no one good at all. I'm trying to think of a free transfer goalkeeper. Sign Onana. That'll be amazing, good. That would actually be phenomenal to see. Yeah, really caught up here. Well, I'm surprised this deal's happened, by the way. I swear this guy majorly flopped at Wolves. I might be wrong there. Fiorentina looking to sign Lindelof. And Kunku, of course, here we go to AC Milan. Decent player. Very good time at RB Leipzig. Didn't quite work out. Bayern Munich. No, Bayern Munich. Chelsea. Speaking of Bayern Munich, though, Nicholas Jackson looking to maybe go there. Probably a bit more of a long-term striker as opposed to Harry Kane. But I just realised I wasn't even sharing the Twitter tab. But a bit of a long-term striker. He's 24. Harry Kane's about 31. So probably rotating a little bit this season. Why do you want an honour? How do you want us to fail? Nah, man. He'll absolutely smash it for you. I think he'll lock in. He's at a good club. Would you like it if we signed Vlahovic? I personally would. I wouldn't say no, but only if he's willing to be backup to Haaland, because he's not going to be starting ahead of him. And I don't think he's going to be willing to be backup to Haaland, if I'm honest with you. So, if he's willing to be backup, sure. If he's willing to compete with Haaland, sure. And depends on the fee as well. I ain't willing to break the bank on him. Yeah, but Jackson to Bayern Munich, I think it's a decent deal. I do think Jackson's a good player. Probably needs to control his temper a little better. But overall, I think it's a decent deal. It just depends on how long Harry Kane can go on for, to be honest, because he could very well be a player that's a bit like a Lewandowski, not to mention it with Bayern Munich, but he could just always be that guy that's bringing in goals. Lewandowski's still bringing in goals for Barcelona. And even now, Harry Kane, at 32, is still up there with the highest scoring strikers in the world. So, it's a decent deal, I feel. And it really looks like we've gone through everything here. It really does. And with that, look how far we scrolled. Look at all that. Straight back to the top. There we go. Anything new come out? 34 minutes ago. Here we go for this guy. Man, we've come so far. We started with this and now we're finishing with this. It's a deal in place with loan move, but no buy option. Okay. Interesting. But it still looks like an interesting deal, as it looks like Chelsea will have the chance to match future bids in future. So, okay, that's pretty cool. Wolves set to sign this guy as well. 27 million. And yeah, it looks like we're all caught up. This guy had a pretty good campaign with Botafogo. So, yeah, good luck to him at Nottingham Forest. But there you go. That really looks like we've covered everything there is to cover. I hope you did enjoy this stream. I do quite enjoy it. Oh, Blinking. Not my best voice crack. But it's certainly not the worst. It would be a huge catastrophe if second league club could beat Man United and we can't. It wouldn't be the best luck, and we'd probably get clowned on a little bit, but as long as we're doing well in the league overall, hopefully it won't matter too bad. But I want to beat Man United, absolutely, and it won't be a good luck either now. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. It's been a fun stream, I feel. I like looking at other teams' transfer news, seeing how they're doing, seeing what they're up to. It is quite fun in my eyes. I do have fun doing it. Just going to have a quick look on City Extra here, see if there's anything. Not really. Yeah, not really. Nothing we haven't covered today. But look, thank you all for tuning in. Lekovic and Glimpse, very much consistent in the stream. Tarsif too. We had Walking King in here as well. So, big ups everyone who's tuned in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, because every subscribe and like is huge. Make sure to turn the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And yeah, Blues, I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow for sure with the Brighton preview. Bye-bye.